Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Vistaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamiti Namah. Namaste Saraswata Devi Gaurvani Pacharini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paskachai Desatarini. So today we will discuss chapter 85. Lord Krishna instructs Vasudeva and retrieves Devaki's son, going from verse 27 till the end of the chapter, which means till verse 59. So verse 27, 28. Atta tata karo shesta devake sarva devata Shrutvanitam karo putram atmachabhyam samvishmita Krishna Rama samasrafya putram kamsa vihimsitam smaranti kripanam praha vaiklaivat asrolochana. Translation. This is Now Devaki will be speaking further in this last section. So at that time, O best of the chorus, the universally worshipped Devaki took the opportunity to address her two sons, Krishna and Balaram. Previously she had heard with astonishment that they had brought their spiritual master's son back from death. Now thinking of her own sons who had been murdered by Kamsa, she felt great sorrow, and thus with tear-filled eyes she beseeched Krishna and Balaram. Can someone read the purport, please?
Okay.
Read.
Vasudeva's love for Krishna had been disturbed because his awareness of Krishna's appearance is conflicted with seeing him as his son. In a different way, Devki's love was somewhat distracted by her lamentation for her dead sons. So Krishna arranged to relieve her of mistaken idea that anyone else but him was actually her son. Since Devki is known to be worshipped by all great souls, her show of material affection must actually have been an effect of the Lord's Maya, who's increased the pleasure of his pastime. Thus, in text 54, Devki will be described as Mohati Maya Vishnu, bewildered by the internal energy of Lord Vishnu.
Hare Krishna. So, the bewilderment of Devaki is in regard to her 6 previous sons. She is bewildered by her affection for them as well as for Krishna. It should be for Krishna, but she is bewildered for affection for these sons too. So text 29. Shri Devaki said, O Ram, immeasurable Supreme Soul, O Lord, O Krishna, Lord of all masters of yoga, I know you are the ultimate rulers of all universal creators, the primeval personality of Godhead. She first addressed Balaram because he's out of respect, because he's older than Krishna. 1 year. Text 30. Taking birth from me, you have now descended to this world in order to kill those kings whose good qualities have been destroyed by the present age, and who thus defy the authority of revealed scriptures and burden the earth. That we know from Bhagavad Gita. O soul of all that be, the creation, maintenance and destruction of the universe are all carried out by a fraction of an expansion of your expansion. Today I've come to take shelter of you, the Supreme Lord. This is 31. Yeah. So she's in the same mood as Vasudeva. But she has something to ask as well. So this is it was text 31. We will read the purport. Someone can read the purport.
So Swami explains this verse as follows. The Lord of Vaikuntha is but one expansion of Sri Krishna. Mahavishnu, the first creator, is Lord Narayan's expansion. The total material energy emanates from Mahavishnu's glands. And of that total material energy, the three modes of nature are divided portions. Thus, it is Sri Krishna acting through his expansions who generates, sustains, and dissolves the universe.
Thank you. So it is not Krishna himself does his expansions. Now we will read the next verses, this 32-33. It is said that when your spiritual master ordered you to retrieve his long-dead son, you brought him back from the forefathers' abodes as a token of remuneration for your Guru's mercy. Please fulfill my desire in the same way, O Supreme Master of all Yoga Masters. Bring back my sons who were killed by the king of Boja, so that I may see them once again. Yeah, that 34. The sage Sukadev said, thus entreated by their mother, O Bharat, Balaram and Krishna employed their mystic yoga Maya potency and entered the region of Sutal. There is Bali Maharaj, Sutal. When the king of Daityas, Bali Maharaj, noticed the arrival of the two lords, his heart overflowed with joy, since he knew them to be the supreme soul and worshipful deity of the entire universe, and especially of himself. He immediately stood up and then bowed down to offer respects along with his entire entourage. Bali took pleasure in offering them elevated seats. After they sat down, he washed the feet of the two supreme personalities. Then he took that water which purifies the whole world, even up to Lord Brahma, and poured it upon himself and his followers. That 27.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Just a moment. I
Thank
want
you,
to read
Maharaj.
to end it and to finish that sentence.
Okay, Maharaj.
He worshipped them with all the riches at his disposal. Priceless clothing, ornaments, fragrant sandalwood, past, betel nuts, lamps, sumptuous food, and so on. Thus he offered them all his family's wealth, and also his own self. Yes.
Maharaj, we had in Canto 5, Bali Maharaj has got a dream from the Lord that he will be his gatekeeper. Now here we are seeing is what's calling Krishna Balaram. Was Krishna not there as his gatekeeper?
Well, it's nice that you're asking that, but let me go further. And if your point is still unanswered, then you can ask it afterwards.
Thank you, Maharaj.
I will now be reading from Gopal Champu, this pastime. Though Vamandev personally resided in Bali's house, and Bali saw Balaram and Krishna, he forgot about the other Lord Vamandev in his house. Forgetting the Lord to whom he surrendered, he offered himself to Krishna and Balaram. So that shows that Krishna was the most beautiful and original. Then he forgot the Lord and did not see him at his door. He became absorbed in Krishna and Balaram because of his impressions after seeing them. Not only by seeing Krishna and Balaram did Bali think they were rare, but also his voice became choked up, his hair stood on end, and he became stunned, he perspired, and he fainted. So he went through all levels of ecstasy. So Bali took pleasure in offering them elevated seats. After they sat down, he washed the feet of the two Supreme Personalities. Then he took the water which purifies the three worlds even up to Lord Brahma, and imported it upon himself and his followers. He worshipped them with all the riches at his disposal. Priceless clothing, ornaments, fragrance, sandalwood paste, betel nuts paste, sumptuous food, and so on. He offered them all his family's wealth and also his own self. So now you know what to do when Krishna comes to your house. That the Bali Maharaj is teaching us. He offered everything. So from in the Gopal shampoo, Shiva Goswami, in his purport, he writes, Bali Maharaj's devotional attitude is a complete example of self-surrender. Lord Vishnu, in the guise of a young Brahmin student, approached him for charity. That Bali offered him all he possessed, and when he had nothing more to offer, he surrendered himself as the supreme eternal servant. There are 9 stages, 9 standard processes of devotional service, and at least one Mat Arpanam has been taught by Bali, who is the Daitya Raj. It is the culmination towards which everything we endeavor is aimed. Before he tried to impress the Lord with wealth, power, intelligence, and so on, and failed to fully understand that he is the servant, and his so-called devotion was only a presumptuous show. That was in the 8th canto. In the 5th canto, chapter 19, we have Hanuman is offering prayers. And he's explaining that you cannot have friendship with the Lord on the basis of material qualities, such as opulence, birth, beauty, opulence, eloquence, sharpened intelligence, superior race of mission. None of these is a prerequisite for friendship with Lord Ram. Otherwise, how is it possible that we, uncivilized animals, says Hanuman, and we have no physical beauty, and we can speak like gentlemen, but Ram has accepted us as his friends. Also, Queen Kunti says that you cannot chant the holy names when you are puffed up with Janma, Shvarya, Shruti, Shibir. So what is the qualification for friendship with Krishna, for having a relationship with Krishna? Non-enviousness, humility, pure love. Srila Prabhupada writes, one's devotion and one's sincere desire to serve. These are the qualifications. These are the only qualifications. And Rupa Goswami says, Laulyam, eagerness, sincere eagerness. So Hanuman continues, Whether one is a demigod or a demon, a man or a creature other than man, such as beast or bird, everyone should worship Lord Ramchandra, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. There is no, there is no need of great austerities and penances to worship the Lord, because he accepts even a small service offered by his devotee. Then he's satisfied, and as soon as he's satisfied, the devotee is successful. So that refers to Abhideya, of course, the practice of devotional service. We'll now read 38. Taking hold of the Lord's lotus feet again and again, Bali, the conqueror of Indra's army, spoke from his heart, which was melting out of his intense love. O king, as tears of ecstasy filled his eyes and the hair on his limbs stood on end, he began to speak with faltering words. So this is significant because he was born in a family of demons, which is also the case of most of us. Can someone read the purport, please? It's on the screen.
Srila Prabhupada describes the scene as follows in Krishna. King Bali was feeling such transcendental pleasure that he repeatedly clasped the lotus feet of the Lord and kept them on his chest. And sometimes he put them on the top of his head. And in this way he was feeling transcendental bliss. Tears of love and affection began to flow down from his eyes and all his tears stood on end.
Thank you. We will now go to Nectar of Devotion. There we have in chapter 37, it is more or less the 9th paragraph. It is said in Srimad Bhagavatam 10th canto 85th chapter verse 38, Sukadev Goswami tells Maharaj Pariksit that after surrendering everything unto his lotus feet, unto the lotus feet of Vamandev, Bali Maharaj immediately caught hold of the lotus feet of the Lord and pressed them to his heart. Being overwhelmed with joy, he manifested all the symptoms of ecstatic love with tears in his eyes and a faltering voice. In such expressions of ecstatic love, there are many other subsidiary symptoms, such as jubilation, withering silence, disappointment, moroseness, reverence, doubtfulness, remembrance, doubtfulness, confidence, eagerness, indifference, restlessness, impotence, shyness, inertness, illusion, madness, ghastliness, contemplation, dreaming, disease, and sign of death. When a devotee meets Krishna, there are symptoms of jubilation, pride, and perseverance. And when he is feeling great separation from Krishna, the symptoms of ghastliness, disease, and signs of death become prominent. So is in verse 39 now, Bali Maharaj is going to praise Lord Balaram. 39. King Bali said, obeisance to the unlimited Lord, Ananta, the greatest of all beings, and obeisance to Lord Krishna, the creator of the universe, who appears as impersonal absolute and the super soul in order to disseminate the principles of Sankhya and Yoga. So we got all This is 39. Yeah. Impersonal Absolute, the Super Soul. So we have all the three, Bhagavan, Paramatma and Bhagavan here. Purport Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti identifies the Supreme Ananta, named here as Lord Balaram, from whom expands the divine serpent Ananta Shesh. Impersonal Brahman is the source of the texts belonging to the Sankhya philosophers, while the personal representation of the Lord, known as Paramatma, disseminates the textbooks of yoga. So the impersonalists get all their books from Brahman, yeah? And the yogis are getting their books from Paramatma. It's logical. Krishna is giving us everything. Text 40. Seeing your lords is a rare achievement for most living beings. But even persons like us, situated in the mode of passion and ignorance, can easily see you when you reveal yourself by your own sweet will. So, he's very humbly considering himself a demon, influenced by the mode of passion and ignorance. So by ascribing to himself the degraded status of a demonic birth, Bali Maharaj denied any spiritual qualification for being visited by Krishna and Balaram, not to speak of demons like himself. Bali taught even advanced renunciants on the path of Jnana and Yoga fail to please the Lord when they do not give up their pride and envy. So the Jnanis and the Yogis, they are proud. They are envious of Krishna because they want to be God finally. Yes. We go text 41, 43. Many who had been constantly absorbed in enmity towards you ultimately became attracted to you. Who are the direct embodiment of transcendental goodness and whose divine form comprises the revealed scriptures. These reformed enemies include Daityas, Danavas, Gandharvas, Siddhas, Vidyadharas, Charanas, Yakshas, Rakshasas, Pishachas, Bhutas, Pramatas, and Nayakas, and also ourselves and many others like us. Some of us have become attached to you because of exceptional hatred, while others have become attracted because of their mood of devotion based on lust. But the demigods and others infatuated by material goodness feel no such attraction for you. So Bali got a constant rivalry with Indra, and now it's coming out. So we demons, we have some attraction for Krishna, but your demigods, you don't. The demigods don't have attraction. Yeah. Can someone read the purport which is on the screen?
Srila Jiva Goswami explains this passage as follows. The Gandharvas, Siddhas, Vidyadharas and Charanas are adversaries of Supreme Lord. When they follow the lead of
Srila Jiva Goswami explains this passage as follows.
The Yakshas, Rakshasas, Pisachas, and so on tend to be inimical because they are generally covered by ignorance. There are some rascals in the pure mode of ignorance like Shishupala and Paundraka, who are totally absorbed in the meditation on the Lord as their enemy, and this fixed consciousness earns them liberation. Others, in a mixed condition of passion and ignorance, associate with the Lord with a desire for position and prestige. Maharaj Bali sees himself as belonging to this category. Yet Lord Vishnu favored Bali by becoming his doorkeeper in the subterranean region of Sutala, just as he favored the demons by killing and liberating them, and the Gandharvas by engaging them in singing his glories. On the other hand, the Lord awards sense gratification to those demigods who are proud of their being situated in the mode of goodness. Thus they become deluded and forget him.
Yeah, so it's more favorable to the demons, Ali Maharaj said. Also, Narada Muni said that the demons are more fortunate because they have more absorption in Krishna. That, of course, we know devotional service should be favorable to please Krishna. That, text 44. That is 44, yeah. But to speak of ourselves, O Lord of all perfect yogis, even the great mystics do not know what your spiritual power of delusion is, or how it acts. Purport. Systematic understanding of something should include knowledge of both its Svarup, or essential identity, and also its Visheshas, the attributes that make it different from other things. Maya, the energy underlying all material existence, is more subtle than ordinary phenomena. Only God and his liberated devotees therefore can know its Svarup and Vishesha. So he's saying, yes, even these great mystics, they do not know you. We'll also read Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. Well, why do I do that? No one knows the truth about you. That is expressed in this verse. The master of yoga do not know your yoga maya, what it is, or even how it parts work, what to speak of us. That it's 45. Please be merciful to me, so I may get out of the blind well of family life, my false home, and find the true shelter of your lotus feet, which selfless sages always seek. Then either alone or in the company of great saints, who are the friends of everyone, I may wander freely, finding life's necessities at the feet of the universal charitable trees. So that was 45. So after the prayers, there's usually a request. Can someone read the purport of 45, please?
Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti states that in response to Bali's prayers, Sri Krishna invited him to choose some benediction. And in this verse, Bali submits his request. Bali begs to be relieved of the entanglement of material life, so he will be free to leave home and wander in the wilderness, with only the Lord's lotus feet as his shelter. For his subsistence, Bali proposes he will take help from the forest trees, at whose feet are fruits to eat, and leaves to sleep on, for all to use as needed. And if the Lord is especially merciful to him, Bali hopes he will not have to wander alone, but will be allowed to travel in the company of Lord Krishna's devotees.
That's beautiful, thank you.
This is very nice.
Mother Prabhupada, Priya, please.
Hi, Krishna Maharaj. I have a question. Because you're saying that text 43 shows that Bali Maharaj still has a little bit of envy towards the demigods, that we demons are absorbed in you, and we actually have devotion, but the demigods are just complacent because of their goodness. They're not so absorbed in you. So I'm wondering how Bali because he already completely surrendered the Lord. How is it that he didn't get purified from his animosity towards the demigods?
But first, it is his desire, and it seems he's not giving up that desire, because in his next life he will become Indra. So Lord Vamandev has predicted it, and he knows it. So yes, he will know that he will be Indra in the next life. But that constant rivalry between the demigods and the demons is nothing new. And of course, Bali Maharaj may be pure, but he's still representing the demons. And he says the demons are more fortunate, because the demons are more fortunate because they can concentrate themselves on the Lord in intense enmity. But these demigods, when they get benedictions of the Lord, they want opulence and they forget the Lord. But we are more fortunate. So it's like that. He has been expressing that in these verses, that of course is an example of surrender, and he surrenders to the service of the Lord to be in there in his next life. But yeah, we may remember that's not the first time that we get that in the Bhagavatam. Dhruva Maharaj, he became also completely pure when Krishna Garbha Vishnu touched him with his conch shell. Then Dhruva Maharaj said, I don't want it anymore, this kingdom. So he was purified from it. But the Lord said, you desired it. So now for 32 years I want you to rule the entire universe, and then you can go to the pole star, a spiritual planet. But you desired it. So that's interesting. So he desired to be Indra, and the Lord fulfills his desire. He may now not have the desire anymore, but still the Lord wants him to do it because he desired it. So I think in the case, like in the case of Dhruva, here in the case of Bali Maharaj, the desire of the Lord is more prominent. You desired it, so you have to do this. At the same time, the pastime, while he speaks, it shows this rivalry between Indra, with Indra and the demigods, and this fighting that, and he says, the demons are more fortunate. And in some sense, it's true. Because we heard that from Narada Muni. He says the same thing. Because the demons, by fixing their minds on Krishna, in enmity they become purified. And these demigods, they get benedictions from the Lord, but then because they want material opulence, they forget the Lord, so that it's useful. And yeah, it gives hope for us also, who are also from demon background, like Prahlad Maharaj, Bali Maharaj. And hopefully the Lord is merciful to us also. So, Mother Prabhupada Priya, any further comments?
I was thinking that it's somewhat analogous to, like devotees who were born in materialistic families, and then we become devotees. And then we sometimes think that we're more fortunate than those who are actually born in the movement to devotee parents. Because, we've experienced material life and we know what it is that they're giving up, so we don't have so much attraction to it. Whereas those who are born in devotee families, they sometimes don't take the process so seriously. It's like, yeah, we know Krishna, it's all good, and they can sometimes not actually come to the point of fully surrendering.
That's what the sages said to Vasudeva. Familiarity breeds contempt. And we become used to it, but yeah, the material world is a dangerous place. But yeah, I never thought myself better than one who is born in a devotee family. What a difference. What a fortune one gets. But yeah, what can we do? But I think also, even born in a devotee family, you are born in Kali Yuga means you have also a lot of bad karma. Although you are born in a devotee family, so you have also a lot of suffering. It's not without suffering, so it's fortunate on the spiritual platform, but on the material platform you are still in this material world and in Kali Yuga. These are my thoughts. Thank you. Interesting discussion. Anything further? Mother Sitarani.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. I have a question because you brought up this Maharaj, and I've been questioning about this for a long time. I'm still struggling with it. I find it very difficult to come to terms with the fact that he had a material desire, and by the time he got purified, and then the Lord still made him go through what his desire was. So I find it a little bewildering because most of us come to Krishna consciousness and we have our desires and slowly we get purified. So just imagine like when you reach the stage of purification and the Lord says, okay, go and whatever your material desire was, that will be fulfilled now before you can come back to me. So that seems like a punishment. So I find it very difficult to come to terms with it.
Well, for me, that's going together with a deeper understanding of what pure devotional service is. Pure devotional service means the desire to serve Krishna. And that Krishna does whatever he wants with me. And because it's that desire to serve that which is essential, and that protects us, the service. That's our protection, devotional service. So it's a change of consciousness. If you are Krishna conscious, then it doesn't matter whether you are in the spiritual or the material world. The essence is, let me serve Krishna. And we have seen that by different devotees we discussed. Sudama, he prayed to the florist. He prayed to the Lord for a pattern of fortune, we can say. That let me, if I have to take birth again, please, let me always be in the devotional service and give me always in association of devotees, and let me always serve you. So that is the essence, but we see things from good and bad. Oh, this Dhruva is still in the material world. That's bad. It would be better for him to be in the spiritual world. Why does the Lord do that? But that's not the consciousness of Dhruva Maharaj. Dhruva Maharaj is not in material consciousness. He just wants to serve the Lord, and he does not take this material energy serious. That this come and go. And that is what it means to be surrender. That the desire to go back to the spiritual world, okay, that's nice, but it's finally it's a desire for ourselves. But pure devotion means only for Krishna, and that Krishna uses me in the material or the spiritual world, it doesn't matter. So, but it's a high level, and I understand it's not easy to understand, to grasp. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, Mother Prabhupada, Priya.
In relation to Sirani's question, my experience is that, we have all these desires before we become devotees, and then after becoming devotees, after practicing Krishna consciousness, and my experience is that Krishna, he remembers our desires, and he kind of confronts us with them in different ways. He'll create a situation where the fulfillment of our desire, the possibility to fulfill that desire is there. He'll dangle it in front of our noses, like, do you still want this? Remember you wanted this? and then it's up to us, whether they're going to go for it, or like, no, Krishna, forget about that one, throw that one in the garbage, I want only you. Sometimes it's something we can use in his service, sometimes it's just not, it's complete lie. But he does that. Many times it's happened to me, like things that long ago, like something that I really wanted to do when I was in high school or something. like remember you wanted this?
Yeah, it's like Arjuna and Duryodhana. Duryodhana was happy to get Krishna's army, but Arjuna got Krishna, and his service to Krishna, and he was happy. That yes, it's up to us. Krishna fulfills all our desires. That I see there's a chat. Okay, good. Then we continue. I want now first to read a passage from Krishna book. Krishna book. Moment. Go to share the folio. That yeah, but I think I just read it here from the book. That and this. Please be kind to me, who am fully surrendered unto you, and favor me with your causeless mercy, so that I may simply remember your lotus feet birth after birth. My only ambition is that I may live alone, just like the Paramahamsas who travel alone here and there in great peace of mind, depending simply upon your lotus feet. That's Bali Machu. I also desire that I have to associate with anyone. I may associate only with your pure devotees and no one else, for your pure devotees are always well-wishers of living entities. Paramahamsa, Srila Prabhupada says, is the supreme swan, which can draw milk from a reservoir of water. It can take the milk portion and reject the watery portion. Similarly, a person can drown out the spiritual portion from this material world, and who can live alone depending only on the Supreme Spirit, not on the material world, is called the Paramahamsa. A Paramahamsa accepts only the association of pure devotees and rejects others who are too much materially addicted. In other words, those who are materially addicted cannot understand the value of the Paramahamsa, but those who are fortunate, who are advanced in a spiritual sense, take shelter of the Paramahamsa and successfully complete the mission of human life. I will go back here. Vishwanath Bhakti Thakur. Please ask for a benediction. Overcoming the well of household life, which is opposite to the shelter of your lotus feet, sought by even the Atmarams, may I also, being peaceful in living, having obtained fruit, spontaneously dropping from the roots of trees, which act as a shelter for the universe. If you are more merciful, then let me wander with the friends of all beings, your devotees. That's Ivan's association with pure devotees. 46. O Lord of all subordinate creatures, please tell us what to do, and thus free us from all sin. One who faithfully executes your command, O Master, is no longer obliged to follow the ordinary Vedic rites. Can someone read the purport, which is on the screen?
The Acharyas explain Bali's thoughts as follows. Reflecting on the possibility that his request for immediate deliverance may have been too bold, Bali Maharaj considers that first he will need to become sufficiently purified. In any case, he thinks Lord Krishna and Lord Balarama must have come to him for some specific purpose. If he can receive the Lord's order and carry it out, that will be his best opportunity for purification. Indeed, as Bali states, a devotee acting under the personality of Godhead's instruction need no longer follow the sacrifices, injunctions, and prohibitions of the Vedas.
Thank you. We will also read Vishwanath Bhakti Thakur's comment. Can someone read?
Now, please inform me of the purpose of your appearing like this before me. Please give your order. O Lord of those who are controlled, O Master. But what qualification do you have to follow my instructions? Make me sinless, though I am incapable of doing so myself. By hearing the order, I will become purified. Give that order which will free me from all the injunctions of prohibitions of scriptures, so that I am not merely a slave to the rules.
So, when we came at this point, Mother Narayani said, Srila Prabhupada's order came along with the capability to execute it. So, Srila Prabhupada gave personal orders, and we were not qualified to do it, but some way or other we became empowered and did it. 8 verse 47. The Supreme Lord said, during the age of the first Manu, the sage Marichi had 6 sons by his wife Urna. They were all exalted demigods, but once they laughed at Lord Brahma when they saw him preparing to have sex with his own daughter. here comes the history of the 6 sons of Devaki. 48-49. Because of that improper act, they immediately entered a demoniac form of life, and thus they took birth as sons of Hiranyakashipu. The goddess Yogamaya then took them away from Hiranyakashipu, and they were born again from Devaki's womb. After this, O king, Kamsa murdered them. Devaki still laments for them, thinking of them as her sons. These same sons of Marichi are now living here with you. So we have here the purport. Acharya Sridhar Swami and Vishwanath Chakravarti explained that after taking Marichi's sons from Hiranyakashipu, Lord Krishna's Yoga Maya first made them pass through one more life as children of another great demon, Kalanemi, and then she finally transferred them to the womb of Devaki. So there was a stage between. Yoga Maya first made them pass one more life as children of a great demon, Kalanemi. And now we will read from a commentary from the first chapter of the 10th canto. Formerly, an Asura named Kalanemi had 6 sons known as the Saddarbhas, who were equally powerful and expert in military affairs. In association of their grandfather Hiranyakashipu, they underwent great austerities to satisfy Lord Brahma. So they did great austerities to satisfy Lord Brahma like Hiranyakashipu did, but Hiranyakashipu was not informed of that. Yeah. So upon being satisfied, Lord Brahma agreed to them any benediction they might desire. First, they were in Brahma's family, and now they are in Hiranyakashipu's family, worshipping Lord Brahma. When asked by Brahma to state what they wanted, the Saddarbhas replied, "If you want to give us a benediction, give us the blessing that we will not be killed by any demigods, that the Gandharva, Yakshas, and human beings, or by great sages who are perfect in their penances, and so on." Brahma understood their purpose and fulfilled their desire, but when Hiranyakashipu came to know of these events, he became angry to his grandsons. "You have given up my association, have gone to worship Lord Brahma, and therefore I do not have any affection anymore for you. You have tried to save yourself from the hands from the demigods, but I curse you in this way. Your father will take birth as Kamsa and kill you when you take birth as sons of Devaki." By this curse, the grandsons of Hiranyakashipu had to take birth from the womb of Devaki and be killed by Kamsa, although he was previously their father, Kalanemi. Yeah. This description is mentioned in Hari Vamsha, Vishnu Puran, 2nd chapter. According to the Vaishnava Toshina, the sons of Devaki, known as Arkirtiman, was the 3rd incarnation. In his first incarnation, he was known as Smaran, son of Marichi, and later he became the son of Kalanemi. So in the Srimad Bhagavatam 10:2-8, there is another quote from the purport there. Symbolically, Mother Devaki's constant fear of Kamsa was purifying her. A pure devotee should always fear material association, and in this way all the asuras of material association will be killed as the Sat Gandharvasurs were killed by Kamsa. It is said that from the mind Marichi appears. In other words, Marichi is an incarnation of the mind. Marichi has 6 sons: Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, and Matsarya. Lust, anger, greed, illusion, madness, and envy. We know who these sons are now. Then the Supreme Personality of Godhead appears in pure devotional service. This is confirmed in the Vedas. Bhaktir Aivainam Darshayati. Only bhakti can bring one in contact with the Personality of Godhead. The Supreme Personality of God appeared from the womb of Devaki, and therefore Devaki symbolically represents bhakti, and Kamsa symbolically represents material fear. When a pure devotee always fears material association, his real position of bhakti is manifested. When he naturally becomes uninterested in material enjoyment, when the 6 sons of Marichi are killed by such fear, and one is freed from material contamination, within the womb of Bhakti, the Supreme Personality of Godhead appears. Thus the 7th pregnancy of Devaki signifies the appearance of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. After 6 sons, Kam, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, and Matsarya are killed, the Shesha incarnation creates a suitable situation for the appearance of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In other words, when one awakens his natural Krishna consciousness, Lord Krishna appears. This is the explanation given by Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, and we will read his commentary, which is on the screen here. Can someone read the commentary of Vishwanath Chakravarti?
By that sinful act, immediately they were put in the womb of the wife of Asura. Hiranyakashipu, which is the meaning born of Hiranyakashipu, is used in this case to indicate closeness of relationship rather than as direct sons, since they were born as the sons of the wife of Kalanemi. Purport of Jiva Goswami 2:10-4-5 makes this clear because it refers to this verse. He gives an alternative explanation as well, that being born of Hiranyakashipu means they were born as his sons in another kalpa. He also mentions Kalanemi as a son of Hiranyakashipu. But in the Bhagavad, only 4 sons are mentioned, not him. The translator has put him as the son of Hiranyakashipu. Vaishnava Abhidhana mentions him as son of Hiranyakashipu. Sorry, the other one is Hiranyaksha. Vaishnava Abhidhana mentions him as son of Hiranyakashipu. I have further investigated, and other texts say Kalanemi was the son of Virocha, son of Prahlad, who was the grandson of Hiranyakashipu. Who is right? They were then taken by Yogamaya to the womb of Devaki in order to kill Kamsa. Devaki is lamenting for her sons. These are with you, pointing with his finger, forefinger are with you. Brought by the Supreme Devotee Bali to see the Lord. They were there in front of the Lord.
So there is some confusion of about Kalanemi. So yeah, that's who is right. Yes. Mother Prabhupada Priya, you get the answer.
I have a question. Because the dam taken from Vasudeva Devaki was their 3rd incarnation. So what was the other one? Because so far I'm seeing only the taker as the son of Kalanemi, who was the son of Hiranyakashipu. What was the other?
Well, first they were the son of Marichi, that's the first. And
Okay, so that's something else.
then Hiranyakashipu, and then we have Kalanemi, and then, yeah. Anyway, thank you. Then we will...
So it looks like, sorry, that these sons of Marichi actually were related to Prahlad, kind of like his nephew.
Yeah,
Something.
yeah. That's what Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says. He has done further investigation. Yeah.
And then
They-
Bali Maharaj was born in the same family.
Yeah.
So they're related. Like these six sons are related to Bali Maharaj, and now they're living with Bali.
Yeah, in previous commentaries it said it's that they became Hiranyakashipu's sons and then the sons of Kalanemi and then but Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur has another opinion that he says they were not the son of Hiranyakashipu, they were the sons of Hiranyakashipu in another kalpa. That's what can I say? Thank you. Good point.
Also, another thing is, why did Hiranyakashipu get angry with them for worshipping Lord Brahma, since he himself was worshipping Lord Brahma?
Yeah, that's the nature of demons, because he wanted the power, the supreme power, and not others. So he became very envious, me and not the others. That yes. Yeah.
Also, ma'am, it is pretty interesting that they defended Brahma and they fell down, and now they're worshipping Brahma. So it's pretty interesting to see that.
Yes, sure. That is a warning that we can see the devotee making errors and then want to correct. But we should be careful. Vaishnava etiquette says, yes, you have to correct someone, you need 3 conditions. My Guru Maharaj Bhakti Charamaj always explained that. First, if you want to correct someone, you must be in a position to correct them. You must be senior, or you must have a position that you are responsible for them. That's the first thing, in the position. And the second thing is, to correct someone, one must have the right motivation. That the right motivation is, I want to help this person to advance in spiritual life, to assist, serve. And the third point is, you have to check in your heart towards this person. Do you feel in your heart some envy? If you feel some envy in your heart, don't do it. So these are 3 conditions that, but we see, because these were the sons of Maharishi, they criticized Lord Brahma. But the Maharishis did not do. They said to Brahma, they asked him a question, how is it? You have to give the example and you do this act. And they said, the Lord must have some purpose to do it to you. To teach us something that, but they did not see Brahma as an ordinary person, and they asked a question. They did not criticize him. So these are methods of trying to correct, asking a question. If you see someone is making trouble and you are disturbed, and the person is senior to you, then go to a God brother and ask a question. Don't criticize, because it's so deep in us to criticize that's Bhujan Prabhu, I remember, he said at the beginning of Kartik, he said, I made a vow. During the whole Kartik, I will not criticize anyone. But the vow lasted only 3 hours because it's so difficult. That Thank you. Is that okay, Mother Sitaram? Okay. Let's go and read the rest of the verses. We wish to take them from this place to dispel their mother's sorrow. Then, released from their curse and free from all suffering, they will return to their home in heaven. 41:51. By my grace, these six, Smara, Udgita, Parishvanga, Patanga, Kshudrabrit, and Grini, will return to the abode of pure sages. So these are the names of the 6 children. First, when they were sons of Marichi, the oldest Smara, called Kirtiman, were born again to Vasudeva as recorded in Srimad Bhagavatam 10:157. Kirtimantam patam pratamajam kamsayana kanum dubi aparayamasa kachena sunrita ativivala. Vasudeva was very much disturbed by fear of becoming a liar by breaking his promise. Thus, with great pain, he delivered his firstborn son, named Kirtiman, into the hands of Kamsa. So, that's text 52. Sukadev Goswami continued after saying this, Lord Krishna and Lord Balaram, having been duly worshipped by Bali Maharaj, took the 6 sons and returned to Dvarka, where they were presented to their mother. 10:54. Lovingly, she let her sons drink from her breast, which became wet with milk just by their touch. She was entranced by the same illusory energy of Lord Vishnu that initiates the creation of the universe. 54. So, in the opinion of Srila Jiva Goswami, the word Shishti can here also refer to the creative process by which Lord Vishnu's yoga Maya arranges the settings and situation of his pastimes. There is indeed no question of Mother Devaki being affected by the material aspect of Maya. So she wasn't in Maya, but her affection was for the lila of Krishna. Text 55-56. By drinking her nectarian milk, the remnants of what Krishna himself had previously drunk, the 6 sons touched the transcendental body of the Lord Narayan, and this contact awakened them to their original identities. They bowed down to Govinda, Devaki, their father, and Balaram, and then, as everyone looked on, they left for the abode of the demigods. Can someone read the purport, please?
Lord Krishna remained as an infant with Devaki and Vasudeva for only a few short time, only a very short time. First, the Lord appeared before them in his 4-armed Vishnu form. And after hearing their prayers, he changed himself into an apparently ordinary infant for their pleasure. But to save Krishna from suffering, his brother's fate, Vasudeva at once removed him from Kansa's prison. Just before Vasudeva took him away, Mother Devaki suckled Krishna once so that he would not feel thirsty during the long trip to Nandagam. This we learn from the commentary of Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur.
And we will also read the commentary of Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. Someone else can read this commentary?
The remnants of Krishna. Hold down the club gathered with her. When Krishna appeared from Devaki and turned into a child, as described in Bhagavatam, in the front of his parents' eyes, he became an ordinary child. Pituruho, Sampasyadaho, Sadhyo, Bahubha, Prakrita, When he was about to go to Nanda's house, in order that his throat not become dry from the long journey, she fed him her breast milk. Though this is not mentioned there, it is understood from the present verse. By the touch of the body of Narayan, they realized that they were devas. The dust went to Devalok.
So, we'll now go to Krishna book. So, Krishna book. So, yeah. So, but this is for Krishna's service. That is nectar of devotion. You have to go to Krishna book. Chapter 85. Yeah. Now we have to go down at the end. Yeah, it's here. Understand. And someone read from after thus informing the king of the demons. So you can read this paragraph.
After thus informing the king of the demons, Krishna stopped speaking and Bali Maharaj understood the Lord's purpose. He worshipped the Lord sufficiently and thereafter Lord Krishna and Lord Balarama took away the 6 conditioned souls and returned to the city of Dwaraka, where Lord Krishna presented them as little babies before his mother Devaki. Mother Devaki was overwhelmed with joy and was so ecstatic in motherly feeling that milk immediately began to flow from her breast, and she fed the babies with great satisfaction. She took them on her lap again and again, smelling their heads and thinking, I have gotten my lost children back. For the time being, she was overpowered by the energy of Vishnu, and in great motherly affection, she enjoyed the company of her lost children.
Yeah, can someone read also the next paragraph? So this paragraph, can someone read it?
The milk from the breast of Devaki was transcendental nectar, because the same milk had been sucked by Lord Krishna. As such, the baby sucked the breast of Devaki, which had touched the body of Krishna, immediately came self-realized persons. The babies therefore began to offer their obeisances to Lord Krishna, Balaram, their father Vasudeva, and their mother Devaki. After this, they were immediately transferred to their respective planets.
So they got prasad and they became pure and they went back to the heavenly planets. So, and go back to 57. Seeing her sons return from death and then depart again, saintly Devaki was struck with wonder. O king, she concluded that this was all simply an illusion created by Krishna. So they all came and then they quickly went. 58. Sri Krishna, the Supreme Soul, the Lord of unlimited valor, performed countless pastimes just as amazing as this one, O descendant of Bharat. So we have heard probably only a fraction of what Krishna did. Now the last verse. Sutta Goswami said, so we are back in Namisaranya. Sutta Goswami said, this pastime enacted by Lord Murari whose fame is eternal, totally destroys the sins of the universe and serves as a transcendental ornament for his devotees' ears. Anyone who carefully hears or narrates this pastime, as recounted by the venerable son of Yas, will be able to fix his mind in meditation on the Supreme Lord and attain to the all-auspicious kingdom of God. So now, this is the benediction. We will read the purport of this verse. Someone can read this last purport, please.
According to Sridhar Swami, hearing the wonderful events of Lord Krishna's life destroys sins in a matter of that a perfect alone becomes because it is easy. Anyone can easily participate in this hearing, and those who becomes devotee of Krishna always enjoy wearing on these ears the ornament of topics concerning him. Not only those who were present at the time of their occurrence, but also Sutta Goswami, all who have had since, and everyone in the universe who will hear in the future, all are blessed by the continual recital of Lord Krishna's transcendental glories.
Vishwanath. This verse speaks of the nectarian nature of Krishna, whose fame is nectar, Amrita Kirti. Stories of Krishna destroy the sickness of repeated birth and death, but for devotees who have transcended birth and death, it is the ornament of their ear. Yes. So, descriptions of the Lord are the right medicine for the conditioned soul undergoing repeated birth and death. Nirivrita Tarseo Bhagyamanat Bhavalsa Takshotra Manobhyamat 10.1.4 Bhagavatam. Pavitra Prabhu, yes, speak.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, thank you for the wonderful lectures. Maharaj, we see the case of the child of Chitraketu. When he was revived, he asked his father, "Who are you? Are you my father? I don't know you." So these six children, when after they've been brought back to life, they see Devaki and Vasudeva. They didn't see anything, they just go back to the spiritual world. Why?
First, the story of Chitraketu. My recollection is that the child sat up again by the mystic power of Narada Muni. The soul enters and the soul spoke. The soul did not say, "I don't know who you are." The soul said, "I've got so many parents, millions of them, and you speak about my parents, but which parent do you mean of all this birth?" That was more the point there. But yes, the six sons, how could they know who their mother is in their previous life? Do you remember your first day of your birth, Pavitra Prabhu? Do you remember? So, how can we expect them to remember?
I don't know.
Someone says, yeah, some people remember their previous lives, yeah, when they are young. That can be, but if we look in our lives, what do you remember what happened 5 years ago? What do you remember what happens yesterday? we forget, we cannot retain that. So what of remembering previous births? Good, Mother Kasturica, please.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. I just have a comment. I was thinking how Bali Maharaj is one of the 12 Mahajans, although he is a Daitya, and Prahlad Maharaj is also Daitya. And if you see in that shloka of describing the 12 Mahajans, some are demigods, some are humans, some are manus, and some are Daityas, some are just the rishis. So it just like accelerates the potency of the devotional service. So that was really striking for me.
Yeah, sure. So the devotional service, yeah, and you can extend it further. It doesn't matter what position we have. That the only point Srila Prabhupada said, and we read that, Srila Prabhupada said there are two qualifications: to be sincere and have the desire to serve. That. Thank you, Mother Castor. Good. That Lalita Putimaya, please.
Hi, Krishna Maharaj. I want to share an incident regarding to text 41 to 42. The first line says that many who had been constantly absorbed in enmity toward you ultimately become attracted to you. So, like a few years back, my uncle, he was really a bad enemy of ISKCON, and he really didn't like Srila Prabhupada or ISKCON movement. He neither liked Krishna, because he was thinking that Krishna stole his wife away. She's really very nice devotee. So he really didn't like that. So he pledged to her that I will never bow my head in front of Krishna. But after 2 years, it happened that because I was studying Bhaktivedanta and she wanted to take darshan of the Holy Dham. So she came with her kids with my father. So they were having nice darshan, and my uncle who surprisingly came to Vrindavan to take them back away to Bangalore. And then what happened is, like he went to the temple for first time, he took the darshan of deities, and he was just mesmerized by the beauty of Krishna Balaram. He was telling that in our, like usually in South India, the gods and goddesses are always in either in Abhaya Hasta or Varadamudra. But here Krishna Balaram, they are having no mudras. They are just free, they are happy. And it's like the two cowherd boys, and he was telling, see how beautiful these brothers are. They are just relaxing. So I like them, I really like them. And he became a fan of Son Papdi Prashadam. And then when we went to Govardhan Parikrama, he did Shastra and Dandavata to Govardhan. And my aunt was making fun of him that a few years back I told you never bow your head in front of God, and now you are doing Dandavata. So Krishna really attracted him. So this incident was coming to my mind when I read the translation.
Yeah, I got also a story of some Sankirtan devotees in the 90s, and they are traveling for 3 weeks with a van, and then they come back to the temple, and it was a very, very difficult time. And one devotee said, yeah, when I come back before the deities, I will ask Krishna for help for all. Yeah. But then when the devotee came before the deities, he was so mesmerized by the beauty, and he forgot about everything. So yes, the beauty of Krishna. That's our fortune, if we can see Krishna. Thank you. Anything else?
Raj, maybe you know the story of there's one person, the devotees who gone to Solution, and there's one man with a mate, and this man was so envious and antagonistic, that he would take the book from the hands of the devotees and rip it up and throw it in the garbage. And that happened, like, kept happening, it was recurrent. Every time you would see this man, he would very, like, aggressively take the books from the hands, rip it into pieces and throw it. So, after some time, I don't know what happened, maybe due to his touching the books, he got a little purified, and then he decided to, he went back after the devotee left and took the book, some pages out of the garbage and started reading them, and he became a devotee, and I don't know who the person is, because who told me the story, but it would reveal the name. But she said that this person is a sannyasi and is gone now.
Oh, that's interesting. That, yeah, Janananda Maharaj told that when they did, in the early days, Harinam in London, they came always at the market, and there, the same man was keeping his bad tomatoes, and he was throwing the tomatoes to the devotees, and that went on for a long time. But somewhere or another, I don't know the details, but he became also a devotee later. But, yeah, so many stories. Thank you very much. Anything else? Then I hope to see some of you on Saturday morning, those who can. Saturday at 12 o'clock. Here is morning, 7:30 in the morning. It's still dark. But I will go to chapter 86. Arjuna keeps Subhadra, and at the end you have two stories, two reciprocations of Krishna with wonderful devotees, King Bahulasma and Shuttadev, that if you can attend, please do. So, thank you very much.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Saturday. Thank you so much for your association and all the best for your travels in India, Maharaj.
Yeah, let's see if it happens. There is just a war started in Europe and so many things, but I try to come. Let's see what Krishna does. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Maharaj, you should come to Vrindavan so that I can
Recording stopped.
I will come one day to Vrindavan if I get in India. But let's see if Krishna allows this person to go to Vrindavan. Yeah, we know the process of going to Vrindavan via Kura, but I will try to remember that. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.